Thanks for joining us for our Fantasy Game Day Sunday Stars 10-minute tips for NFL Week 16 here at Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. If you're not taking part in Fantasy Game Day already, then what the hell are you doing? Join now using our promo code COVER. Sign up, download the app, use that promo code and get yourself a free entry after your first play to the value of £7.50. Got to be in the UK, 18 plus, and of course, please gamble responsibly, as we always showcase here. We've got teams and great teams cover. Week 16, slightly spread out slate this week with an extra couple of Saturday games, so a little bit trickier than usual maybe to make your picks, but we're here to give you our top tips. We're hitting regularly. 2 or 3 of our tips end up being in the winning team each week, so we're doing something right. Let's hit our quarterback picks first. You know what? There's only one place to start. And Joe, that's with you. Tell us your quarterback pick this week.
The man, the myth, the legend, Quinn Ewers for the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, Tua got benched this week. I don't know why it says versus Miami. It should say at Cincinnati. Should be.
It's at Cincinnati.
It's at Cincinnati, and he is on the cheap side of. He's the cheapest quarterback at 4,200 with a number of other backups. So this is a week to get him because they're playing the second worst defense in terms of against fantasy points. The Bengals are giving up 23 points per game, and I think he could have a decent game. I think having that coach Mike McDaniels will be able to scheme a game up for him, and you know, the game time he had a big a long throw for 40 yards for one of his passes. So I think this could be. I think he could have an average game, but getting him this cheap, it just helps you just load up elsewhere. So I think getting a starting quarterback, like I said, at 4,200 helps you get all the big players. And I think he could have a decent game against this Bengals defense, which has been better the last few weeks, but they've been knocked out of contention. So it could be 2 teams getting ready for Cancun, and there might be lots of points.
Dear God. Yeah, reminder, you get an extra £5,000 in your fantasy game day budget, £45,000 this week as well. So yes, taking a cheap quarterback like Quinn Ewers at 4,200 could pay dividends. And yeah, it's Quinn Ewers versus Cincinnati. Byron, you have the other quarterback in the game who's at Miami.
Yeah, Joe Burrow going down to Florida to play the Dolphins at 7,200, which isn't a scary price tag, I don't think, for Joe Burrow. Coming in at quarterback 7 on the slate, and I think he's got quarterback 1 potential. Dolphins, I think, are on the beach, literally, I guess, in Miami, but also in the way they're going to approach the game. As Joe mentioned, they've gone to Quinn Ewers, taken out Tua, which I think they've done now. They're out of the playoff contention, and they can send a message really to Tua. I don't think they're going to expect an upgrade in play, but we'll see. Matthew Judon cut today as well, so I think they're looking to next season. I think Joe Burrow is very much looking for I'm still Joe Burrow, let's go kind of game. Still got Jamar Chase, still got T. Higgins, still got Mike Gesicki in a big revenge game, obviously. So give me Joe Burrow at 7,200, quarterback 7 on the slate.
You did mention the Mike Gesicki revenge game in the preview, Byron.
Saving the good stuff for Saturdays.
I've got JJ McCarthy. A couple of weeks I've had him now. So I took him the week where he came back against the Commanders. Did okay. That's 2 20-plus point showings for McCarthy. He had 3 passing touchdowns against the Commanders, 2 passing touchdowns, and a gritty rushing touchdown against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. I'm expecting probably something similar, low 20s against the New York Giants. Giants give up 20, just short of 21 to quarterbacks on average so far this season. So I think McCarthy's right in that spot. 6,400, paying up a little bit, but I think kind of the floor, I think the jaws are quite small. I think you can get 20 out of McCarthy, and for 6,400, it's not too expensive. You've still got, if he has the rushing, more than 1 rushing touchdown as well, that can help. But 6,400 solid. I think you can just build your lineup around what you're going to get out of a quarterback. Let's move on to our wide receiver options this week. Byron, let's start with you. You're at the spenny end this week.
Yeah, going big boy on Amon-Ra St. Brown up against the Steelers. Steelers have been soft against slot wide receivers all season, and as we've seen last week, Amon-Ra 13 receptions against the Rams. The offense flows through him at all times, whether Gibbs is on, Gibbs is off. The offense flows through Amon-Ra St. Brown. You can attack the Steelers through the air. It's in the dome, no risk of weather. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra in the dome against a soft defense. I think he goes off. I think he's wide receiver 1 on the week in PPR, like Fantasy Game Day is.
Excellent. Joe?
Yeah, I've got Mike Evans at £6,000. He's the 13th most expensive wide receiver, but I think he has the potential to be the number 1 wide receiver. It is a must-win game, so I think they're going to tag him quite a lot of game. He's currently questionable, but I expect him to play with how big this game is. We saw it last week against the Falcons. He had 12 targets, 6 catches, 132 yards. I think it could be something similar where Baker just targets him, throws a big pass, and he needs to get to his 1,000 yards. So he's like 728 off. So he needs to have some big games these next 3 games. So watch out for Matt Evans getting crazy yards.
I would love it if we got to that position where somehow he was like, oh, Mike Evans is week 18, he's like 200 yards, and like, let's just find a way to do it. Well, that would be incredible. I've gone for Lad McConkey, only £5,000. No better team to play against if you're a wide receiver than the Dallas Cowboys from a fantasy perspective. So yeah, no real belief in my Dallas Cowboys, and quarterbacks love to play against them. Whether you're playing well or not, it's probably a good game for Herbert. And McConkey's been quiet. He's had really, really quiet year, given obviously how good he was as a rookie. But yeah, I feel like this is an opportunity for a bit of a standout game. Tough because he's had a combined 6.2 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So yeah, rough one. But I feel £5,000 for player visibility is still relatively cheap, and ultimately quarterbacks and wide receivers have gone off against the Cowboys, and there's nothing to suggest even sticking Matt Eberflus up in the stands is going to make that much of a difference for the Cowboys. So give me Lad McConkey.
Are they still keeping his headset connected, or just sort of to go and watch?
I think it's that one of the things where he still thinks it's connected.
Yeah, he's got them walkie-talkie phones.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Mike. Don't matter. We're listening.
Yeah, and he won't know that it's not, because Kenneth Murray will still be out there doing those kind of things that we showcased in the review the other day. So, yeah. Let's hit. There you go. Tight end / running back options for this week. Byron, let's start at the cheap. You've gone cheap this week. Let's hear what you got.
Yeah, but I mean, $45,000 budget, but that doesn't mean you should underestimate going for your budget plays where you can get them. The cheapest running back on the slate, cheapest player on the slate, 2,200 is your minimum price. Audric Estime, going to be running back 1 for the Saints against the Jets. Devin Neal on IR, season ended. Alvin Kamara, I'm very sure, will not be back. So it's Evan Hull and Audric Estime to take the reins. Estime looked really good last week. He had 3 catches. And I just want to run down the running backs the last few weeks against the Jets. Travis Etienne, 31 points. Achan and Jalen Wright combined for 34 points. Bijan Robinson, 30 points. Derrick Henry, 22 points. Trevian Henderson, 32.3 points. He's not any of those players, but at 2,200, I think he can get you 15 points this week. I think he's like the must-slam. Put him in, he's your enabler for the week. I picked him up to start him in redraft leagues. I think he's going to have such a big role, and against such a poor Jets defense that, I can easily see him getting double digits, no problem.
Excellent. Joe, let's go to, we're at the other end, so let's start with your premium pick first.
Yeah, I've gone Bijan Robinson. He's the 3rd most expensive running back at 8,800. I think they're just going to lean on him again. On Thursday Night Football, he showed how amazing he is, over 150 yards, rushing receiving yards. And I think they're going to rely heavily. Drake London might be back. He's questionable again, but I don't know if you want to risk your number 1 wide receiver just for a nothing kind of game. And the Cardinals are the 5th worst defense, fantasy points-wise, against the run at 20 points. And when you look at the last few games, the Rams managed to run 249 yards over them. The Texans managed to run 143. So I think this team can get run over, and Bijan does have the claim of being one of the best running back / wide receiver from that position. So I think he's going to have a huge game against this Cardinals team.
Excellent. I've gone for the same as my wide receiver pick. I'm going for the team up against the worst at that position. Bengals give up the most points to running backs. They give up the most points to just everyone, really, don't they? But the Bengals give up the most fantasy points to running backs, and Devin A-Chain has been on a tear. I'm fully expecting that to continue. I think even more so that Quinn Ewers is playing. I think even more drop downs, even more rushing yards or rushing attempts for Devin A-Chain. So fully expected a big game. He didn't have the touchdowns on Monday Night Football, I think, but he had 127 yards from scrimmage. 18 touches. I think he's going to be close to 30 touches against the Bengals, and you do that, he's going to have a lot of yards, probably enough touchdowns, a lot of catches. Probably get you close to 30 plus points. So that's where I'm at with HA. £9,200. So he's tied with Jahmyr Gibbs for most expensive running back on the slate. But I think it's worth it. And again, if you want to stack him with Ewers, you can do, and you get your trade off there in terms of obviously double points in the receiving game plus kind of what you're saving on Ewers. Excellent. That is our Fantasy Game Day Week 16 Fantasy Game Day 10-minute tips, I should say, in the bag. Can you tell we have recorded this all at once, maybe? Go use that promo code cover. Again, stupid if you're not doing it already. Come and play Fantasy Game Day, the UK's best, fastest growing, and just all-around great NFL daily fantasy platform by UK fans, for UK fans, truly independent. So come and support Gameday & Co. with their wonderful fantasy platform. Use that promo code, get yourself a free entry after your first play. You must be 18 years or over in the UK. And of course, please gamble responsibly. Follow us on all our socials at GTW_GTC. Subscribe to the pod on audio or video platforms. And we'll see you on Tuesday for our NFL Week 16 review show.